Former Minnesota Fighting Viking star running back Adrian Peterson was talking to TMZ Sports this week, as one wants to do, and the topic of running back pay came up, and he said this, quote, "It's disrespectful, to be honest with you, it really is." And he's talking about how running back pay has become noticeably depressed in terms of positional market, as well as only 5 running backs are slated to make over $10 million a year in 2020. And only 4 of those are on long-term deals. One of them is Derrick Henry on his franchise tag, right? And then Adrian Peterson added, quote, "I think the change is going to come. Me and Frank Gore continue to show guys, hey, we are valuable. We can have 10 to 14-year careers as well. So valuable us as well, like you would value a quarterback, end quote. So now, obviously, Adrian's a little delusional here. And yeah, playing 10 to 14 years, that's phenomenal. But the Vikings, you can't really blame him for having his worldview shaded a little bit, right? So Vikings were the main catalyst in making Adrian Peterson the first and only $100 million running back in NFL history, and probably the only $100 million running back for quite a while, for, 50 years until inflation catches up, and then when running backs are making $40 million per year in 40 years, maybe. But even after an injury-plagued 2016, we had that meniscus. His last season was purple. You remember he was making the rounds on First Take and whatnot, talking about how he'd earned that $18 million team option for 2017, even though there was zero goose egg D'Angelo Russell chance that the Vikings were going to pick that up. So, yeah. And then he went from that, legitimately thinking at his age that he was worth $18 million to signing a 2-year, $7 million deal with the Saints in that same offseason. So he went from that to that, and then has been making league minimum the last 2 years, bouncing around from Arizona to Washington. So cool. And yes, he still thinks that he should be making $10 million plus dollars per year, plus getting 300 touches, which is just you almost have to respect the delusion and the confidence in yourself, even at his age. It's great, but it's just not how the world works. It's not. I mean, second contracts, as of late, have just been a huge bust for running backs. You look at Todd Gurley, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Devonta Freeman, Lamar Miller. Jerick McKinnon hasn't played it down yet for the Niners, and he's going into his 3rd year under contract for them. And it may be revisionist history on Adrian's part, but even if you look at the all-time great running backs, they do struggle to play after age 30. LaDainian was done by age 30. His corpse with the Jets was just whatever. Sean Alexander, who we talk about famously, was league MVP, out of the league in 24 games. He was done by age 30. Emmett and Walter Payton were done by age 32. They're outliers to a degree. OJ was a shadow of himself by age 30. Those bad knees limping around San Francisco. Eric Dickerson was done by the time, late career Indianapolis, and he bounced around the league for a little bit. Jamal Charles, Marshall Faulk, Marshawn Lynch, also done by age 30. Barry Sanders and Jim Brown quite young, or they probably would hit the wall as well. So even though the NFL has shifted away from the bell cow running back, even the all-time greats, if you look back, were used up relatively young, and especially young compared to how long, say, quarterbacks and wide receivers can play at a high level. And it just is what it is. I mean, hell, Adrian set the record for oldest 1,000-yard rusher at age 34 in 2018. So you would think, if Adrian's remembering history right, that there would be multiple 32, 33, 34, 35, 36-year-old running backs having 1,000-yard seasons, but they're not. It's just non-existent. It is a young man's game. The human body only has so many hits in it, and we've talked about that. The running backs do just use those hits up, whether it be pee-wee, high school, college, and then early on in the NFL. Eventually the body just says no. And why pay for old and expensive when you can go young and cheap at the running back position? It is the position of attrition, as it were. And that's why I'm hesitant about giving Dalvin big money, even though I think the Vikings will work something out with him, because he turns 25 in August. And even though I love him, I'm a major Dalvin Cook supporter. I mean, would you be willing to bet that Dalvin's even going to be in the league in 5 years? Would you be willing to bet Dalvin in the league at age 30? It's a tough bet, if you really think about it. I'm not confident, putting a shekel down on that. So Adrian can think it's disrespectful. It's not. It's the market correctly pricing replaceable assets that have a limited shelf life. It just, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be running backs. That mean quarterbacks or wide receivers or cornerbacks even, right? So now he and Frank Gore I mean, they're not going to change things because, yes, they are playing for a long time, respect, but also they're not lead backs. They're just going to absorb a couple early down carries, and also notice that both of them have been playing on league minimum deals for the past number of years. So they ain't changing. They are extreme outliers, but they are not changing how the NFL views running backs. And like I said, it is what it is. NFL stands for not for long, but it should really be the R NFL for running backs. Really not for long because, yeah. So Adrian can think what he wants. He's wrong. Again, shocker. All right, but your thoughts, Adrian's thoughts on running back contracts. Disrespectful. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, post something in the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time. Skol, production value.